Hey everybody, it's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to this full moon in Leo taking place on January 25th, 2024, and the 2 weeks after. So what we're going to do in this video is, in the first segment here, we're going to be talking about everything involved in this full moon in depth, right? We're going to talk about the full moon itself, it's square to Jupiter in Taurus, Uranus turning direct because that's also adding to the mix, and we're also going to be talking a little bit about what Pluto is doing all the while this is getting underway, because Pluto is really revving up, getting more formally, entrenched in the Aquarius energy as well as we move through into the month of February. Now remember, full moons are 2 weeks long in their influence, and so depending on what's going on with you and your circumstances and your chart, a lot of this is going to be getting underway really, really fast, right? Thursday the 25th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right in the first chunk of it. Some of you may have this be more of an elongated period going all the way up until the 9th when the full moon window period closes and we have our new moon in Aquarius. And some of you may have this show up anywhere in between. It's really important to keep that in mind because full moons, new moons, lunations in general, never just kind of come up and do their thing on the day and then here today, gone tomorrow, right? There's a story that is playing out, and we want to keep that in mind because that's how we're going to do the best work when it comes to looking over astrology. Also, don't forget your monthly astrological forecasts are up for February, so if you haven't seen them yet, you might want to check those out. And if you are watching this in January, you've got 1 week left while I've still got my New Year's resolution sale going on right now. So if you have any big goals or plans you'd like to accomplish this year, might want to hit me up on my website, integrativemysticism.com, or follow the links in the down bar below and schedule a session with me. Let's talk about what's going on for everybody. Okay, before we skip ahead and look at what's going on with each and every little sign, let's have a look and see what's going on with these big celestial bodies as they go to work, because this is also going to help you understand what's going on, when you're dealing with people and you're going out into the world or situations where, again, you just don't know what's happening with each and every sign. This full moon is, of course, the star of the show, the full moon in Leo. Full moons are all about culminations, transitions, and chapter changes first and foremost. And so over the course of this period between the 25th and the 9th of February, we're going to be seeing this big turn go on here, right? January 25th begins the turning of a page for everybody. Leo full moons tend to bring out a lot of promotion and upliftment experiences for everybody, right? Leo is a very flashy, very showy, very flamboyant kind of energy. And so what can happen when we have a full moon there is that all things good start to get lifted up, start to get noticed, spotlights shine on where things belong, who's doing a good job. We also see things being lifted up out of the shadows, lifted out of obscurity. So there's a lot of discovery and illumination going on here as well. A lot of revelations of things that may have been hidden or covered up, especially when it comes to ways one can promote themselves. This is also going to be a time where there are a lot more amplified demonstrations and communications of circumstances and true feelings. And this is going to be across the board, right? Mixed bag. We're talking about raising up how people go about communicating. And so this can be a time where people are also much more generous and gratuitously affectionate, much more loving, complimentary, and again, people really going out of their way for each other. But this is also a time where people can get very dramatic, and they can take the intensity of this all and turn it more into the chaotic or more disturbed kinds of levels of disproportion. We are also seeing true feelings come out through intensity. True feelings can show up in explosions. True feelings can show up with demonstrations of love and loyalty or care or generosity or support. We also have a bit of an encouragement of self-interest that comes from a full moon in Leo, so both for the good and the bad, putting yourself first, right? Things that may benefit you that don't benefit everybody else around you are also going to be, showing up here wherever this falls. So you could be getting lifted up at work, but maybe you're the only one and not the rest of your group or your team. This could be a time where something wonderful is happening for you, but not for a family member or a romantic partner, or vice versa. This can also indicate a period where everyone is getting a personal wish granted, but these personal wishes are not things that are mutually shared. This Jupiter square is also, of course, a big part of this. This full moon is square to Jupiter. Jupiter is all about expansion. It's all about growth, making things all the more vibrant, making things all the more profitable, all the more prolific, all the more expansive, as I said, expansion. And when we have a square to Jupiter, we often find that we have to be ready to navigate circumstances where one corner of our world is being lifted up to new heights, committing to golden opportunities, and accepting wins and successes that will likely rock the boat in your world. We also have Uranus turning direct in Taurus, which is happening on the 27th, so right at the very beginning of this full moon window. And so this is all about surprise wins and successful experiments paying off and demanding more commitment and priority as well. But this is also going to happen at the same time as we have these rapid and seemingly spontaneous developments in your environment that are going to upset the apple cart for you, and still likely in a good way. Oppressive and controlling influences are getting toppled and moved out of our lives, and we're also seeing environmental shifts opening new doors, but in hectic ways as well. Pluto in Aquarius is bringing in that focus on forced overdue transitions, especially where they have been delayed, as well as maybe the revelation of things that have been hiding, and need to be revealed. This is also going to be a time where things that we have been maybe holding out for or making sacrifices for that are not paying off are also getting closed down in our world. So these could be things that we've been investing in, whether it's time, energy, money, our own actions, our own deeds, maybe buying time for things, or sticking around in the wrong situation or the wrong pattern for too long. And this is all about pushing for transitions again that are overdue, and yet at the same time at the highest interest of all concerned. And that's what this 2 weeks is really all about for everybody. This is probably one of the most fast-paced, intense 2 weeks periods that we've had in a very long time. I would say at least 2, maybe even 3 years. And this is also one of these periods that I feel is really going to shake everybody out of any lingering old, sort of take things too slow, shut yourself in COVID kind of sensibilities. Like, this is going to be the energy that launches everyone back into an existence where the inner and outer world, inner and outer experience are finally balanced. But you are going to have to be ready because this is so fast-paced. A lot of people are not used to this, or a lot of people may just be out of practice with what is kind of expected here, what this is going to demand for us, right? Because we haven't had something like this for so long. And the last time we did, we were all shut up in the houses. There's a lot of good going on. It's just got to get into the practice of thinking on our feet and learning as we go and making sure we can roll with this flow. So that's what I've got as far as the general forecast for everybody, regardless of their sign. Let's have a look and see what is going on with each individual sign. So Aries, during this 2-week period, what you're going to find is that a chapter or era in your 5th house of love, romance, creative pursuits, creative projects, personal enterprises, and your relationships with your children is coming to an end, while at the same time we have your professional life leveling up. This full moon in Leo is likely going to bring a matter to a head so that a transition can occur somewhere in your personal life so that you can actually begin anew. Now, this could be something that you are deciding to do with regards to maybe a future of a romantic relationship with a partner. This could be something going on where an era of being single is coming to an end, as this full moon can also just turn turn a page and bring somebody new into your life. But this is also going to likely bring to a head situations where, again, creative pursuits or relationships with our kids are also ready to evolve and go through an important chapter change and transition themselves. However, because Uranus and Jupiter are also hard at work in your second house of earned income and employment, you may be finding that this is something that you're going to have to navigate while your work life gets very busy and you start raking in a hell of a lot of money, because there is a very strong rise going on here. Uranus is shaking up your professional environment as well as your professional trajectory, and Jupiter is capitalizing on that to move you away from what you've known into something far more lucrative and far more illustrious. Taurus, for this 2-week period, a chapter or era in your 4th house of home, family, living situation, or your home economy, or your roots, your relatives, all of that, a chapter relating to one of these areas is going to be coming to an end, as a personal path or personal pursuit is going to be leveling up. And that is because while we have this full moon occurring in your 4th house, there's going to be this push towards closing up a lot of old home and family business, getting ready for a big transition, maybe even a big move for some of you, or something that's going to create an alteration to either the social environment or the communication environment, the way relatives and us are getting along, or the way we're running operations at home or in the home environment itself, as well as maybe even making a serious jump as it relates to, again, our home income or our household income. The Jupiter-Uranus combo in your sign, however, is saying your path, irrespective of other people, is going to be up for a pretty intense shift. Whenever we have Jupiter and Uranus in our sign, there are things that we might be trying to push forward, personal projects, personal goals that are getting the green light, and they are also getting a lot of backing. And so all of this is happening at the same time, and so you're going to want to make sure that you know how to capitalize on this while also, again, keeping an eye on what you also need to deal with that 4th house full moon. Gemini, for this 2-week period, you're going to see that a chapter or era in your 3rd house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, and alliances is coming to an end as a private or secret pursuit. It's something that you've got going on in the 12th house, right? So privacy, things you've got going on behind the scenes, things that have maybe been kept small or out of sight, starting to go through a powerful level up process. So anything that you've been tinkering with or gaming through or experimenting with or contemplating, or maybe again, indulging, stealing time for behind the scenes, is becoming a much more substantial and blessed presence in your life at this time. Just keep in mind that because, that full moon is also taking place in your 3rd house, there could also be some difficulties as we kind of weigh the demands between both of these parts of our chart. A full moon in the 3rd house is all about clearing and eliminating contracts, or even, yes, sometimes alliances and associations that, it's time to go. It's time for a transition. But be ready for whatever's going on in your, again, the 12th house, the private matters, to become more prominent in your life. Cancerian people, over this 2-week period, you're going to find that a chapter or era in your 2nd house of income, employment, values, and valuables is coming to an end, as your social life and your support system is leveling up. And so during this period, you may be going through a big role change or a professional trajectory shift, a lane change of some kind. And that could end up demanding a lot from you in order to deal with what is going on. However, you may also find that your friendships, as well as support that you're getting from other people, are helping you to accomplish some kind of lofty goal or ambition, or you're likely going to be finding that you are getting a really strong sense of tribe and village from your support system, attracting all kinds of new friends during this period, and also getting a chance to make the ones that you have all the stronger. And so, again, all of this is going to be asking for a lot of attention from you as we go through this 2-week period. But I wouldn't be surprised also if some very powerful hookups are going to be coming through your social circle, whether it's for your professional life or your financial life or something else. Leo, during this 2-week period, you're going to notice a chapter or an era in your 1st house is coming to an end as your career is leveling up. A full moon in your first house, which is all about you, your personal path, irrespective of other people, solo projects, things that you're doing on your own, does have you in a situation where you might need to be ready to let something go or bring something to an end. In fact, a full moon in our sign can often be our once a year moon, where we get a chance to have a bit of a jailbreak or walk away from anything that we want to walk away from, that we need to leave behind, that we need to call it quits with. And this is something that can happen with minimal resistance when we've got this going on. Just keep an eye on what's going on with your career, though, because Jupiter and Uranus in your 10th house may be surprising you with some opportunities for promotions, as well as big jumps in not only your earning power, but your authority. But you're going to be expected to be able to engage and stay on the ball with it all during this period. Virgo, during this 2-week period, you're going to find that a chapter or era in your 12th house, the past, privacy, hidden zone, things that you've got going on behind the scenes, as well as old business as it may still influence the present, is coming to an end as your world opens up and you gain a lot of fame and prominence. A full moon in the 12th house can be really tricky business in the astrology. On one hand, this could be forcing something out of our lives that we need to let go of, that we've just not let go of. We've held on to it for too long. Maybe we feel like we haven't had enough like closure or resolution or whatever. Sometimes this can also be something that's followed us from the past, and this can be a breakdown, breakthrough kind of full moon. But this is also going to be a time where Jupiter and Uranus in your 9th house of expansion, growth, prominence, big moves, big travel, government legal proceedings, your spiritual path and practice, is also putting you in a space where, again, that fame and prominence can be very, very real. Something that maybe you are doing or something you're connected to or something that you're working on is gaining a lot of fame and credibility, and you are going to find that whether this is just something that's going to be benefiting you personally or professionally, or maybe an academic path, or maybe all of the above and more, you are going to need to be ready to mingle, to get engaged, and to show up as much as this asks you to throughout the course of this 2-week period. Libra, during this 2-week period, you're going to find that there is a chapter or era in your 11th house of friendships, social networking, community, and your support system coming to an end as your bonus income goes through a major level up. So what's happening here is this full moon in Leo is occurring in that 11th house. And a lot of the times when we have a full moon in the 11th house, this can indicate the ending of an association, either with an individual or a community. Sometimes we're going no contact with somebody. This can also show up where it's possible a not so great friend, acquaintance, or associate reveals what they're really like, and we decide to just kind of let that go. Sometimes this can happen in a big dramatic way. Sometimes this isn't a big dramatic way. But an era in your social life is going to be switching out. But all the while, Jupiter and Uranus in your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, bonus income, supplemental income, as well as intimacy, and any kind of resources or monies you may share with others, is really working over the financial side of things. And you may be finding that over the course of this 2-week period, a lot of bonus money or opportunities to score some bonus money is stacking onto what you're used to. And this could be something that becomes quite regular if you decide to integrate it further. Scorpio, during this 2-week period, you've got this chapter or era coming to an end in your 10th house of career, upward mobility, status, station, and promotions. All the while, your partnerships and your closest one-on-one connections are going through a powerful level up. A full moon in our 10th house of career is all about us getting ready to go through a big graduation transition. Now, this could be changing jobs, this could be changing titles, this could be a promotion. Likely this is something where we are getting a chance to move on up in the world, but it can be a very hectic period as well because we've got to kind of be there almost every single step of the way. All the while this is going on, again, your partnerships are going through some deep level ups here. So this is your 7th house with Jupiter and Uranus in it, right? Boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, roommate. This can be a time where some important developments are taking place where maybe a partnership, whether it's a romantic partnership or a business partnership, is ready to step into a deeper level of commitment, maybe even become more enterprising and ambitious. There may be some very good news about something going on in a partner's world as it relates to something that affects the both of you. This is also a time where changes in status are likely to happen, and there could be some surprising shifts going on in all of your closest one-on-one involvements, with Uranus kind of shaking up your world, but shaking up your world that gives everyone in that world the freedom to finally maybe do these relationships the way they're meant to be. Sagittarius, during this 2-week period, a chapter or era in your 9th house of expansion, prominence, growth, big moves, big travel, as well as anything relating to government or legal proceedings or your spiritual life, is coming to an end as your work life is leveling up. Now, a full moon in the 9th house can indicate the removal of some kind of limitation or oppression or something that has been maybe put upon you or imposed upon you, maybe even something that you took upon yourself at one point in time. A lot of the times a full moon in the 9th house ends an era of restriction, and you may be finding that it is time for you to be ready to get yourself out there. Some of you may be getting ready for some big move or travel plans later on in the year, but this can also be the end of some kind of major contract or agreement or official dealing that has been a prominent influence in your world for some time. All the while this is going on, Jupiter and Uranus in your 6th house of work, reputation, schedule, lifestyle, services you provide to the world, things that you serve with, who you serve, is starting to change how you are treated. And you may find that there is something going on here where you're getting set up to maybe climb the professional or career ladder all the faster and start reaping in the rewards of that climb now and going through the rest of February. This is a great opportunity for better business as well as better compensation, and you may notice a few things going on with some team changes that you might think are overdue, but you are going to have to be ready to adjust to those things as those come as well. Capricorn, during this 2-week period, you're going to find that an era in your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, intimacy, sexuality, self-employment earnings, as well as any kind of responsibilities you share with others is coming to an end as your personal life goes through a major level up. A full moon in the 8th house tends to kind of go across the spectrum because the 8th house rules so many different things. During this period, you could be coming into some opportunities to clear or eliminate some kind of tie that binds as it relates to a financial obligation, clear or eliminate some kind of debt. On the other hand, this could also be a period where some very important intimacy walls in relationships are also coming down. This could also be the time, however, where there may be something coming to an end as well as far as a financial plan or income stream is concerned, and it is going to need to be worked through as we kind of go into the life beyond it. Your personal life is getting lit up by Jupiter and Uranus, both in your 5th house of love, romance, creativity, recreation, and your relationships with your kids. And during this period, you may be finding that maybe a romantic relationship is starting to soar in terms of not only its progress down maybe a relationship road towards a particular relationship goal, but a lot of you who are looking for new love stories to start with partners, or maybe you're looking for new partners, are also going to find that Jupiter and Uranus are really shaking things up, bringing in more of that experimentation, more of that adventure, more of that excitement. And you're also going to find that it's very likely that a creative project or personal enterprise is finally getting a chance to get the show on the road and maybe even hit it big. Aquarius, during this 2-week period, you've got a chapter or era in your 7th house of partnerships and closest one-on-one connections. So your boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, roommate, all of your joint matters there. There could be a situation or a chapter or a story here coming to an end as your home life goes through a powerful level up. Now, a full moon in the 7th house can often indicate a period where a certain connection or maybe affiliation or partnership or friendship or relationship is ready to close up a stage that it has been in for some time. This could indicate a very important status change that is going on that we might all need to be ready to adjust to. This could be things becoming more official when it comes to progress towards a romantic relationship, becoming more crystallized and again made official, or a business relationship as well. However, a full moon in the 7th house can also indicate the elimination of something that has been a norm or a staple as in an important relationship in your life as well, and that might be trickier to navigate depending on what's going on there. Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus are both lighting up your 4th house of home, family, your living situation, and your home economy. Jupiter is bringing in a boost to everything here, and you may be finding that during this period, you have an opportunity to make some powerful shifts as far as what you've got going on with your home lifestyle. This is a great time for anybody looking to maybe bring in more money into the home and family. You might be hearing about more money coming into the home through partners as well as through maybe investments and things like that. Home-based business operations are going to be thriving, and you're also going to find that some of you might be put in a position to do some serious work on creating a whole new era for your family as far as maybe rebelling, there's Uranus, or rebelling against some old roots or some old norms that maybe have been following your family into the present from the past. Pisces, during this 2-week period, you're going to find that a chapter or era in your 6th house of work, reputation, schedule, lifestyle, as well as the people that you serve or anyone you're in service to, the services you provide, and what you get back for those services is coming to an end. As your alliances, as it relates to your 3rd house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, and contracts, as well as collaborators and allies, is going through a powerful level up period. And so what's happening with this full moon in your 6th house is an ending of some kind of work arrangement, whether it's a work title, a work responsibility, or something that you put out there or something that you are doing for another. This could indicate a shift away from maybe a work commitment or a service commitment into something that is much more agreeable with you. However, a full moon in the 6th house can also indicate an end that is necessitated by perhaps some conflict that could also be going on, either with you personally or something going on in the work environment. However, it is something that you are getting a chance to also make a clean break with your life with, and that's the way I would recommend looking at it. Your alliances, your communications, pacts, promises, commitments, collaborators, all of that good stuff going through a level up is all due to this Jupiter and Uranus in your 3rd house. And during this period, you may be finding that there are some very cool gifts, favors, help, or maybe even a very solid friendship or ally connection becoming all the more prominent in your life. Now, we could be closing the distance somehow, or you may be finding out about some kind of very cool hookup, link up, match up opportunity going on that is also going to be of enormous benefit to either your professional life or your personal life, or maybe it's going to be something that helps you to solve or eliminate some other kind of challenge that's been going on in your world. But all of this is happening at the same time, and it is going to be kind of a whirlwind experience. So you want to make sure you're able to ride this wave and make sure that you can handle it all as well. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And should you ever wish to get a session with me, you can go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.